Hey, buddy.
Mr. Duke Ellis.
Oh no. Okay, you look different. How's it going?
I am the same as I always have been.
Good, good, good.
Yes. Good. All right, it's too dark for me to wear these anymore.
I was wondering what was going on now. I take it you
So,
have an idea.
do you see a theme?
There might be a bit of a theme. There's a lot of green involved today.
There is. There's a lot of green. I think it looks good. It becomes us.
Yeah, I do see a theme. There's a lot of green.
Yeah. Yeah. That's by design, I believe. Whose design? Who could say?
I do see a theme. There's a lot of green.
I mean, it depends on which pill you take.
Roll the intro.
Been hating my job, I need to quit. Where'd I go wrong? Is this really it? I need a pick me up. Can you fix me up today? I can't keep living this way.
I can't get enough of that intro music,
It's great. It's great. Did you like that little glitch that I put in there for the episode?
I do like that.
I think it's
Joey, you have to come on the podcast sometime.
yes, sir.
Talk about how cool you are and all your stuff.
Yes, Mr.
Haven't seen Ari for a while. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's, tied up in a closet or something.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll
Yeah.
be fine. We sent him off to do some research into babysitting. So
we're doing management training. We'll call it management training.
management training. Yeah. No, we sent him off to go babysit, and he's doing that for now.
Or be babysat. We'll see.
Well, it depends on who he's babysitting.
Yeah.
So do you ever have deja vu?
Yes, all of the time.
Right? So that's like glitch in the Matrix kind of stuff. If you go by like the Matrix movie stuff.
Very much so.
Yeah. So it's like, oh no, something changed in the Matrix. I say that all the time now.
I just look at my wife and I just like, I've been here before. I've done this same thing. And then I explain and then just stop and continue doing what I was doing.
Well, yeah, and then there's like all these guys with like my life as a computer simulation stuff that they talk about, and it's like, oh, yeah. So like, if we make a full world simulation, so Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about it, like,
Right.
the one of the hallmarks of being in a simulation, according to him, is having made a full world simulation, right?
Yeah. Within your simulation, you have made another one.
Right. So like if we don't have one of those, there's a good chance that we're not in a simulation. So
exactly.
The second somebody does, I'm going to be like, oh.
Well, if you think about it, even like GTA 5, GTA 6, that technically is.
That's not a whole world simulation, bud. That's like barely part of California.
Well, okay, maybe not that, but like, what about World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft isn't Earth.
Yeah, but it's still continents. It's still a whole thing.
Like if you can walk at normal walking speed across the whole game within an hour, it is not a whole world simulation.
If I'm in a game and I have to walk at normal world walking speed at any point in time, I'm not having a good time.
Even jogging speed, okay? like even just like your regular run speed, because nobody defaults to walk.
I need a car. I need a mount. I need a jetpack. I need something. It's too slow. It's too slow.
Yeah, it is. So they did not make an entire Earth-sized planet for World of Warcraft. They made 2 small continents. And
technically now I think it's like 5 continents.
Ooh. No, it's 2 continents. The North Pole, an island, and then like a city in the sky. That's about it.
No, but they made that other one too, and that added another one. The not the last update, but
look, dude, I haven't played since Miss Pandaria, so I wouldn't know.
Okay. Well, they came out with one. I haven't played since then either, but I have kept up on it because I always think I might go back, but as soon as I go back, it's like this is just another job, so I stopped playing. Yeah. But I do know that as far as I am to be aware, in the what was it, Wrath of something was the Wrath one of the last. No, not Wrath of Lich King. No, maybe it wasn't.
Desolation of Smaug. Wait, no, that's the Hobbit.
Yeah. No, there was another one that came.
The Worldbreaker dragon that showed up that like just changed everything instead of like.
And there was a whole another continent to go with that one too.
Well, it's not so much a continent as it is like an island that the goblins lived on.
Well, technically it's a continent. I mean, it takes a long time to get anywhere unless you have a mount.
Yeah, but so Hawaii takes a long time to walk across unless you have a mount.
I don't know, but
don't do that. So, okay.
I fit right in, and you know it.
Sure.
I mean, you just got to get over the fact that I'm burnt in some places and tan really well in the other places.
But, buddy, if you had less color, you'd be clear. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about that. I tan pretty well on my arms.
Yeah, everybody tans on their arms.
No, that's not true.
Well, I don't really tan. I just stay the same.
You're just the same,
all the time. That's because of my Mediterranean, Middle Eastern blood. Yeah.
You get that good burn on the back of your neck, though.
Yeah, but that was from fire. That wasn't from the sun.
Okay, well, technicalities, whatever.
Yeah, I got extra tasty crispy Dave.
Crispy.
Oh my goodness. So, in case you guys didn't catch it, we are going to be reading from r/glitch in the Matrix this whole episode. Yep. It's going to be pretty fun. I feel there's a lot of people with their minds melting.
And I have read part of some of these, and it's going to kind of melt our brains also in some situations.
I'm glad. I do like to find out in the field what's happening. Okay, so 10 years ago, done digging. It's a glitch in the Matrix, an absolutely mind-melting experience, proof that we live in a computer simulation or an insane coincidence. You decide. I've been meaning to write about this for a long time on Glitch in the Matrix, as this is one of the strangest and most inexplicable moments in my life. It could, of course, be one major coincidence. As a background to this, I should share that I have a condition known as bipolar disorder type 1, buddy.
Hey, twinsies.
That's rough, buddy. This basically means that I have a tendency to move between depressive moods and high energy, low sleep, and sometimes psychotic manic episodes in which my connection to reality starts to slip. Or maybe I'm just aware of the illusory nature of this existence. Hard to say. If you're interested in reading further, I did an AMA a while back. Okay.
Which is very interesting. It is very interesting to read that. It doesn't technically apply to everybody that has type 1 bipolar disorder. because, some people have a little bit more grounded,
Yeah.
feet on the ground, touching grass.
Well, people has different ways of dealing with different things.
Right.
Like everybody's brain chemistry is weird. That's why dosing exists, right?
Exactly.
So, on to what happened. I can't exactly recall specifically what set me off, but after a couple of days of no sleep and seeing bizarre synchronicities everywhere, coincidences that seem to have a deeper meaning, I started to question if this life is real or some sort of massive simulation. I ended up rewatching the movie The 13th Floor.
Excellent movie.
13th Floor, that's the
It's a movie about the 13th floor. Because that's the thing is like skyscrapers apparently don't have 13th floors because it's something.
Yeah.
But it's like the liminal space kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Okay. So in the movie, the main character creates a simulation only to suspect that his own world is a simulated reality. So he learns about a test that can prove whether or not the world is real. All you need to do is start driving without any plans. Go someplace you have never gone before. Roadblocks and impediments will appear. If you drive through these roadblocks, you will eventually reach the edge of the simulation, where everything will be pixelated and show obvious signs that it is digital.
Mhm.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, like
So
I said,
said,
the movie.
yeah. So I said, why not try it? Got in my car, got on a major road that I had only driven a couple miles east on, and just started driving. I had absolutely no destination in mind, and I had no idea where that road would take me. I figured that I would drive for a half hour or so and see what happened. But I barely made it 5 minutes before I started noticing cop cars speeding past me. As I made it to the maybe 3 or 4 mile mark on the trip, I came to an intersection blocked by dozens of cop cars. I had come to a complete stop. I was absolutely stunned. I sat there for several minutes in shocked silence. Immediately after, I decide to test out the universe. It delivers right. Immediately after I decide to test out the universe, it delivers right back to me one giant back up and go home response. As I sat there, a policewoman walks up and informs me that a shooting had just occurred a few minutes ago, like right before I started driving, almost as if the designer of the simulation said, "Oh, F, we have another runner. Better throw up a roadblock fast." I considered going around the incident and then continuing, but at that point, my mind was too thoroughly effed with to continue. I decided to go home. The thoughts have never ceased to trouble me. Um, was this all some colossal coincidence that I just ran into? Or was it actually testing the boundaries of our artificial universe as a roadblock was put there to stop me from causing problems?
I mean, I should think about this more often because I do a lot of travel between states and such, right? I go all the way from up here in the tippy top of Washington down to where you are at least once every couple years, right? And there is always giant construction that and bad drivers on top of that would make a normal person, I guess, make them rethink even trying to be on the road, So that's something maybe I should think about that a little bit more.
All right. In response to the most common questions, why didn't I continue? Given the rather extreme nature of the roadblock, a shooting, I figured that I had enough. If I was wrong and it was a coincidence, no big deal. In the less likely scenario that I was in a simulation, I was concerned about what could happen next. An explosion, car crash. Also, I knew that it was time to increase my meds and get some sleep. There was that too. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Next question. Why didn't you try again? This happened 3 years ago, and since then I've driven extensively in my city. It's impossible for me to go somewhere now without knowing where the road ends. I find that unlikely. I would have to go a few hours just to start another experiment. The last question, and probably the most delicate of all of them. Are you still crazy? I'm on my meds and very stable currently, but thanks for the concern. But aren't we all kind of crazy in our own unique ways? Okay.
Not what they meant, but still. This is one thing that I like to think about is the major differences between like coasts, because where I'm at, if I want to go to another town, it's going to take me 15, 20, 30 minutes to get there. But if I was on the East Coast, every 10 minutes I'm at somewhere else. Right?
Sure.
It's just a completely different beast. It's a completely different thing.
Well, you're also talking small town versus large city. Right?
True. But there's more
LA,
large.
LA, you go 10 minutes in any direction, you're in a new city too. But you also, there's no possible way you could know every street in LA without being a taxi driver for the last 30 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I've been down these streets a million times.
about 7 times I've been down this street
Today.
That's right. So a civilization advanced enough to construct a simulation of 7 billion people spread across an entire planet aren't advanced enough to let you drive a few miles at random. That's like my best. That's the best response ever.
That is.
It's like, well, no, we didn't. They didn't think of that.
No.
So, yeah. Honestly, I don't think we're in a simulation. You know, and if we are, what's the point of finding out? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if I'm just lines of code, do I want to know that I'm lines of code?
Exactly. Like, if you are NPC, do you want to know that you're an NPC?
I mean, I know, like, I know this is like this is a humdinger of a take, but I'm kind of with Cypher in this. It's like
Right.
the second I know that outside is hell,
Yeah.
put me back in.
Give me the steak. Give me the bull crap. Like, yeah, straight up. I'd rather deal with it.
Just put me back in. Make me your battery. What harm is it doing?
It's fine. I'm okay.
Good gravy. Ugh. Yeah, I know. Like in the movie, everybody's like, "Oh no, Cypher, you jerk! You betrayed everybody." He's like, eh.
I mean,
Like,
the
thinking
bad
about it
part,
logically, though.
the bad part is he actually betrayed everybody. Other than that, like, he's sound in his thought process. 100%.
But it's not like it's not like he betrayed the entire like underground city of wherever the hell that has the orgies every time.
What was it? Zion.
Yeah, he didn't give them the like Zion, right? He just gave them the Nebuchadnezzar, which was like 4 dudes.
Yeah, the one was on there.
Yeah, but he didn't believe in that one BS until he got got by Tank.
Until he was the one. He was resurrected as the one.
Look, check this out. If he's actually the one, something bullshit is going to happen right when I'm about to pull his thing. And then Tank wakes up and shoots him with the electricity gun. He just goes, beans. And dies. Beans.
Beans.
Well, ain't that about a bit?
Ain't that about a bit? Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay, so this is 5 years ago. Again, in r/glitch in the Matrix, I deleted time glitch. Something weird happened to my brother and I tonight. Oh, it's long. Okay.
This is one of the only. This one isn't that long. There's one that is like super long.
Well, I'm glad you warned me beforehand. Okay, so tonight I believe my brother and I somehow got into a time loop or deja vu. Something odd and nothing feels right anymore. My brother 13 and myself 25 were in a car waiting for our family to be done at Walmart. It's about 9:40ish. We think nothing of it. Nothing of waiting and just talking past excuse me, my God. Dave's got to learn how to say words.
You're okay. You're okay.
Just
make sure you're reading and then speaking and not just pretending you know what's next.
Thank you, Will.
You're welcome. It's always a good thing.
We think nothing. Fuck, come on, man. Let me get there. All right. We think nothing of waiting and just talk, passing the time as my brother tells me about school from his 6th grade adventures. Mainly about weird kids in class. Keep in mind, we are in the back seat of a truck and are in a parking lot of Walmart. Looking to the right, as I'm seated on that side, I see a man wearing a dirty white shirt running with his daughter as they wail and holler and laugh. Seeing this, my brother and I both laughed because it was kind of funny to watch. On the other side of the truck, on my brother's side, is a blue car. A man is packing that car, but taking forever, so we go back to talking. About 2 minutes later, a group of three girls walk by the truck laughing and saying random banter that I can't quite remember. Something along the lines of someone being so funny. They get in the car diagonal to the truck and laugh before pulling out and leaving. My brother notices the blue car guy finally leaving as well moments later. He commented with saying, "Finally."
Finally.
Okay, so all of this seems normal. But
Yeah.
here's the weird part. After we talk a little bit more and laugh with each other, suddenly we hear a familiar wail. I turn to the right, and it was the same dirty white shirt guy running the same path with the same daughter laughing. I said deja vu aloud and felt a little weird. The feeling of what in the world? My brother laughed a bit, thinking I was memeing till he looked and noticed the blue car guy packing again. We pay no mind, thinking maybe he forgot something and go about talking again till we hear the laugh of the three girls. They load up and pass our windows again, getting in the car diagonal of us, same outfits, same being so funny. By now, my brother and I are looking at each other. I mention it's weird, and why is that guy running the same path twice? My brother says maybe he forgot something in the store. We shake it off, and I look at my dying phone at 2% charge, and we note the time, 9:50. My phone dies trying to load up YouTube, and we laugh and talk. My brother takes his switch takes his switch after some time and notes the time is still 9:50. We were talking for at least 5 minutes. We think it's we think it's weird getting we think it's weird getting a little nervous, but distract each other with jokes about what feels like 2 to 3 minutes later. The same white shirt guy and daughter run out the store wailing and laughing. We see it and now are worried. Turn to the left, and the blue car is still packing. My brother comments, maybe we are in a time loop, like you said. Then the girls come out and go to the car again. This time we do something different. We watch the white shirt guy load up his daughter in his van and talk to the driver for a bit before getting in and pulling out. I was curious to see if they actually left this time. The girls leave next, and finally, blue car. My brother states, if it happens again, we go in the store. We feel like it's been ages waiting till we see our family leave the store and come to the car. They don't believe us, only our father who likes to read about the theories. They don't believe us, only our father who likes to read about theories, and then we make note of the time. 9:55 p.m.
No.
How did all that happen in what felt like at least 20 minutes happen in 5 minutes? How did we see the same people 3 times doing the same thing 3 times? We aren't tired, and we both witnessed the same events and both are in agreement. Our family says they felt strange in the store, but leave it at that. What happened to us? It's been on my mind. Were we in a time loop? Any answers? Help. Thanks for reading. TLDR, too late. My brother and I waited in the car for our family at Walmart and witnessed the same events happen 3 times with the same people around all somehow in the span of 5 minutes. Okay.
So, first off, I would like to know, like, where are you? Because, like, Walmarts are everywhere, right? So, if you're sitting in the parking lot at Walmart, you could, if you're in the right city, literally have the same type of thing happen with the same type of people saying the same types of things repeatedly if you just sit in that car over and over and over again. And it's not the same people. That being said, they were probably stuck in a time loop. This is a Star Trek episode, 100%. They had to change something for it to work correctly.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, like, right, all like this was a Groundhog Day situation that you could have been stuck in for a while.
Right.
Had you not watched white shirt guy pull out in his van, that'd have been it.
Yeah. White shirt guy can't die. And then somebody needs to fall in love, and the little girl needs to find her gift.
Like that episode of Xena, Warrior Princess.
Right. There's episodes of that stuff everywhere.
Also, if they were actually stuck in a time loop, his phone wouldn't have died.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
So maybe somebody was playing a very intricate prank on them.
Unless because the phone was on him, the battery kept draining because he's the one in the time loop, right? So it's not just his memory that's being it's everything. So like the device being on him,
How would the device be out of the time loop, but them all be in it though?
because he like in that vehicle at that time, right? It
Yeah.
it's uh it
Oh,
doesn't
so the vehicle was in like a time bubble, and everybody outside was just like
and
reverse.
you were just seeing the time continue, right? Like Groundhog Day
Oh,
over and over again, but outside of the vehicle.
okay. All right. Okay, cool. They were in a time loop. Let's move
There
on. I'll let you have it. Okay, 2 years ago, Axel Flask 777. Something happened today, and I don't know who to tell. Well, thank you for that fantastic title.
And thank you for telling us.
I was running late for work this morning while my wife was tending to our 1-year-old who was sick with a cold. She asked if I could stop at Walgreens down the street to get him some cough medicine. I was in a huge rush but didn't want him to go without, so I headed over there as quickly as I could. My wife and I were on the phone as I was driving and pulling into the parking lot. Street was busy and packed with cars, and I was walking up to the store. I noticed a woman putting her screaming child into her car just outside the store. Excuse me. My wife was reminding me of which medicine to buy as I checked my phone for the time, and that's when it got weird. Second I walked into the store, my phone turned off and the call dropped. The sliding doors behind me and the entire store was empty. The lighting was different than what I was used to, fluorescent and cold. There was no one at the front and no one in any of the aisles I could see. I turned around to look outside, and there were no cars in the street, not even the woman who was just there 5 seconds ago. I actually said hello twice, loudly, feeling like this was some sort of horror movie I was in. The entire store was silent, and I go to grab my phone again to film this in case no one believed me. And of course, it won't turn on. I turn the corner down a random aisle, and just like that, there's people there. The lighting is different now and warmer. There was even music now. I turned to look at the front door, and there's a customer mid-transaction with a checker. My phone starts working again, and my wife is calling me. She tells me that it just went silent and said call failed. I stood there for a minute and realized there was nothing I could do but buy the medicine and go on with my day. I don't know if this was a glitch in the matrix, odd and coincidental timing, or some weird parallel universe type stuff, but all I know is that it was strange as hell, and I didn't really know who to tell this to.
Back rooms. We walked into Walgreens back rooms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the Langoliers.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
he just
all
passed through.
liminal space.
Yeah. Ugh. They just wind up in the Langoliers space.
And that's what that first comment says. This sounds
What's that?
eerily like a Stephen King story, The Langoliers. The world is always there. It's just that we pass through it as we live, leaving behind an empty world with no people. The light even changes in his story to a kind of washed out light, and the sound deadens, much like OP's experience.
Huh. All right. So somehow his wife saved his life from like the Langoliers, which are the monsters that eat time.
Like this.
Yeah, they took out Balki Bartokomous. It was terrible.
Batakabus.
Poor Bronson Pinchot. He got murdered.
Man.
Okay. 7 years ago, Vondellift. Office birthday glitch. Basically, we've been debating this for the past hour. I work in a software house with about 15 other people. The timeline is this. Friday, December 21st. We're told we can choose to come to work on Saturday and take 24 and 25 off. Most people choose to do this, except one girl whose birthday is on Saturday. Excuse me. December 22, that Saturday, we go to work. December 23, 24, 25 are days off. Wednesday, December 26, we come back to work. Girl whose birthday was on Saturday brings cake, soda, and some snacks. We celebrate her birthday in the meeting room.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Now, something that's off about this birthday party is that a girl that's usually extremely friendly says she absolutely couldn't bear to see us all of a sudden. Like a switch just flicked inside her, and she felt like she couldn't be there. Like she can't stand any of us, and she has to be alone. A bunch of us are very close outside of work. This was just something out of the ordinary. Anyway, we eat the cake, and there are 2 pieces of strawberry left. The birthday girl eats one, and our accountant, Z, wants the last piece. Basically, the girl who felt like she couldn't stand us and Z fight over the piece of strawberry cake for a while. Afterwards, Z says it's not fair. We leave the last and biggest piece of cake to our boss. We all laugh at this because fighting over a piece of strawberry and complaining that the boss gets the bigger piece is a typical thing Z does. I basically remember Z wearing a tight black dress that day. Okay.
Yeah.
It all seemed normal until we mentioned this story to Z today. We were talking about it, about how it was weird that the friendly girl felt so disconnected all of a sudden. And Z says there is no way she was at that birthday party because A, she doesn't remember any of this, and B, because she was in a different city for a funeral that day.
Ooh.
Okay. She had a picture taken on the car ride there on December 26th to prove it. 5 people from the office specifically remember Z being there, and they remember the strawberry incident. 3 people say they're not sure, can't recall exactly, and we haven't asked the rest yet. I personally remember her being there very vividly. There's only one birthday from October to March in our office, and that's the one on December 22nd. We're absolutely sure the event happened on the 26th, and even the birthday girl remembers bringing the cake on the 26th. It wasn't the office Christmas party because we celebrated it on the 28th, and it didn't happen inside the office at all. We've basically been going over this for hours. There's no way Z could have been there, but we remember her there clearly. Update. Guys, I think there's not much more I can solve here. The cameras don't show her coming in that day, and a couple of people don't remember her there. I guess we'll never know who/what we saw that day, as we can still remember her being there very clearly. There are no security cameras inside, so. Okay.
Well, maybe pocket universe. So like multiverse, alternates, timeline kind of thing. But it was
like alternate universe Z shows up and like fights over cake.
Right. But only the people that were like right there remember it because the rest of them couldn't see her because she wasn't actually there.
Could be.
There you
Or
go.
they could have just fought with some other black be-dressed lady
Right. I
who
mean,
looked vaguely like Z.
could be.
I do like multiverse theory though. That weird thing, like the Mandela effect, where like you're constantly walking through
That is
different.
so real.
The base. What's that?
That is so real. Mandela effect is so real.
Well, yeah, I mean it is a real thing. It's people either misremembering things from the past or whatever.
You remember that Sinbad movie, don't you?
It was Shaquille O'Neal and Kazam.
Yes, but there was Shazam also.
No, there really wasn't, buddy. I'm
There
sorry.
was. There also used to be a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom.
Oh no, there actually is. There's actually some evidence like of a cornucopia being on the Fruit of the Loom stuff, and Fruit of the Loom is trying to like
Cover it up.
do some nonsense with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to ding dong with it, and we can't let them.
Berenstein, come on.
Yeah, I believe it's the Berenstein Bears.
It's the Berenstein Bears, but no, it's Berenstein.
You mean Berenstain versus Berenstein?
Whatever. The thing is the other one's wrong.
Berenstain Bears. I know that.
Berenstein Bears. Don't even look it up because it's going to tell you.
What the? What?
Yeah, and that's wrong, isn't it? Haha. See,
what?
It is real. I told you.
What the? What?
Yeah.
No. Oh,
yeah. No. Hell
what
no.
universe am I from? That the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was never Berenstain Bears. Never. Berenstein Bears.
No, it is the Berenstain Bears.
No.
Literally looking at it right now.
It's the Berenstein Bears, and you know it, I know it, and everybody else that knows that this is real knows it. That was real. That was the thing.
Look, dog. It's this.
You can show me whatever you want to. I'm telling you
that
is wrong.
It's an adventure series.
Yes, I know. It is wrong. That is wrong.
And it says, yeah, no, like legitimately, that's what that is. It is the Berenstain Bears, at least in this universe, okay?
In this universe, I will give you that. In this universe, it is. But in our original universe, it was Berenstein Bears or Berenstein Bears. However you would say it, but it was spelt differently. There was different letters there.
Well, here's the thing. Berenstain Bears, Berenstein Bears. So weird. So confusion. I hate it. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like maybe it was a Mandela effect person walking through, right? Because the whole conceit of the Mandela effect is that we're constantly walking through portals,
right?
Into all the universes where things are true, right?
Some things are true and some things aren't. Everything's changed a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Mandela dying in the 80s instead of like, instead of being the president of South Africa.
Died in prison instead of being released or something like that.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. So, see. Okay, so like the Mandela effect is like the strongest argument for the Matrix theory.
Exactly.
So yeah. This shit's weird, man.
It is.
Why did you decide we're gonna weird out Dave today?
That's why I said this is going to be more of an intense episode, because of this stuff is less like comical relief type stuff, and like this is more like makes you think.
Okay, so to continue in that apparent vein of nonsense, Carla Ray 14, 8 years ago. I'm convinced my parallel universe self was speaking to my family. What is happening? This story took place about 5 years ago, and every single word of it is 100% true. I mean, if she tells us that, we got to believe her,
right?
To this day, my family and I still can't explain what happened. My mom, dad, and 2 sisters went on a family trip across Europe. I stayed at home with my husband and 12-month-old baby. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, and my phone's ringing. It's my dad. I'm thinking, that's weird. Dad's usually well aware of what time it is here when he calls. Maybe he doesn't realize, so I ignore it. My phone rings again. I'm now thinking it's somewhat urgent, and I should answer, but it rings out before I can pick it up. I then notice I have a dozen missed calls from both mom and dad and my sisters. I also have a heap of messages, so now I'm wide awake and thinking the absolute worst. I open the text messages, and they're all along the lines of, everything will be okay. You're going to get the next flight home. We are going to get the next flight home to be with you. Stay strong. We love you. I'm thinking, what the F are they on about? My phone rings again, and I answer straight away. What the heck is going on, Dad? What do all those text messages mean? Now, it takes a lot to make my dad concerned. On the phone, he's really concerned and trying to keep his stuff together. Through gritted teeth and his voice is shaking, says, "I've just been on the phone to you for an hour. What do you mean what's going on?" I'm
Ooh.
completely dumbfounded. I went to bed at 10 and have been fast asleep until now. The last time I spoke with my parents was 3 days ago. How could I have possibly been on the phone with my dad for the last hour? I tell him he must be confused. I've been asleep and definitely didn't make any phone calls. "Don't play games with me," my dad almost shouts. "I've been on the phone with you for the last hour consoling you because you've just found out you're pregnant and your husband has left you." What?
Oh.
At this point, husband has woken up to all the commotion and is asking what's going on. "Dad, what are you talking about? Husband is right here asleep next to me. He hasn't walked out on me, and I'm definitely not pregnant." Dad's angry now. He's telling me to stop BSing him and that this isn't funny. He's demanding I tell him the truth, asking if both me and my son are okay, and do I know where husband has gone. At this point, I'm thinking I've been sleep talking. I've somehow called my dad in my sleep and told him this ridiculous story. Husband doesn't believe it, saying he would have woken up to me crying on the phone to my dad if I had in fact done that in my sleep. I tell my dad to hang on a minute while I check if I made any calls to him. Look through my phone, my phone log, and apart from multiple missed calls, I haven't made any calls to my dad or my family for that matter. The last phone call received was 3 days ago. Check my husband's phone in case I somehow clambered over him and used his phone to make the ridiculous phone call. Nothing.
Nothing.
"Dad, I just checked my phone. I haven't made any calls to you. I asked Dad if my caller ID showed up when I called him. He says he can't remember, so he checks. A minute or so later, he says, it says unknown. I haven't received any calls from your phone number." My dad is suspicious now, thinking, who the heck did he just speak to? My bewilderment turns to anger. Has someone pranked my dad? Who would have made up such a story and upset my whole family? My dad denies it, saying he knows my voice and says it was definitely me. Even my sister got on the phone and said she was there the whole time, talking with me while I was in hysterics on the phone. She said that I had told him, this is spooky.
Yeah, it is.
It's so wild. She said I told them husband got angry and walked out on me when I told him I was pregnant. I didn't know where he went and he wasn't answering my calls. I said I was scared to be home by myself with my son, so I went to stay with a friend. My sister said she could hear my friend in the background, but I wouldn't tell them which friend I was staying with when they asked. Dad asked me why I didn't go to his house as I still have a key, and I said I didn't want to because of their family friend who was staying there, which was a true piece of information. My mom and dad had a family friend staying with them for a few months and was looking after their house while they were traveling. My sister said eventually I calmed down and said I had to go as I didn't want to keep my friend awake any longer. Okay. I said I have to go to work the next day and need to cancel my dentist appointment. Another true piece of information. I was in fact called into work the following day and had told my husband the night before I'll need to cancel my dental appointment.
Okay.
Weird. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And at the same time, my family couldn't believe that I was telling them otherwise. I had to take a photo of me and my husband to prove to them that everything was fine and none of that happened. We stayed on the phone with each other till 6 a.m. in the morning, me convincing them that they definitely do not have to get on the next flight home. No one could make sense of what happened. My dad and family still didn't 100% believe me until they got home from Europe and saw me in the flesh. We speak about it every now and again. I always ask my dad and sister to tell me again and again exactly what I said to them over the phone. I find it fascinating and terrifying at the same time. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I'm getting third hand, like, holy smokes, over this. My dad doesn't like talking about it. Yeah, of course he doesn't. The weirdest thing that's ever happened to him in his life, probably that.
So he's thinking, like, did I hallucinate the whole thing?
Well, I mean, it would have had to have been a mass hallucination on all three of their parts, right?
Right. Were they in some parts of Russia? There could be some nuclear fallout type things that they have to deal with.
It would probably just talking to ghosts.
Yep.
Let's see. My dad doesn't like talking about it. He just shakes his head and says, I don't know what to believe. And I don't blame him either. What he and my family heard was real. They really were on the phone to quote me and were all devastated at what I was telling them, ready to jump on the next flight home and telling me to stay strong. Imagine then being told a few minutes later by the real me that I had no idea what they were talking about. That would also that would piss me off. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean everything's fine?
So I'm in the middle. I have been talking to this airline for the last 2 hours while I'm talking to you, trying to find a way to get us home as fast as possible. And you're telling me you're fine now?
Ugh.
No.
Yeah.
That might be interdimensional phone calls.
Yeah. Well, I am more apt to believe it was somebody pretending to be her in order to scam some money out of them in the second or third phone call.
But she didn't ask for any money. All she did was she was hysteric and everything and wanted.
Never asked for money in the first phone call, man.
There's no money. It's them coming home, right? So it's just what, a big prank of a 13-year-old?
Well, no, like it's like scammers will do that crap nowadays. You know, they'll build like really crappy phone like voices that somewhat sound like somebody.
Yeah.
You know,
but also scammers are they going to go that far? And I scammers will do anything. I totally believe scammers will do anything. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I mean, that seems like a lot of work for the possibility that they're going to believe you. And there was no money being sent for any of that stuff as far as I could tell. That wasn't the thing. Is like they were going to come home and she was like, okay, I need to. There was no like ask for, I need, this much money for plan B or some crap, right? There wasn't anything like that.
Well, no, but like they're staying at a friend's house. They don't want to say what friend,
Well, that could just be personal choice. There could be somebody that they shouldn't be hanging out with, and the family's going to look down on them for it.
Or, I mean, like, look, I'm willing to buy in, but you have to take the other stuff and fix it for me. You know what I mean? Like, how do they have this? Like, why didn't they go to the one place? Why did they call from an unlisted phone number? Well, all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like, maybe not, but I'm more inclined to believe that it was a scammer than it was like taking a shot in the dark than it was phone call from the beyond.
I'm still going with interdimensional phone call.
Fair enough. Oh boy. Well, so 4 years ago, Shentatuta thought I forgot to call my grandma on her birthday. Get on the phone with her, and she tells me I'm already called, and congratulated her on this time. Congratulated her on time yesterday. Oh, okay. That's ADHD. I don't need to even read this. But I want to preface this by saying the past few weeks I've been experiencing more glitch in the matrix activity than I ever had in my entire life. Things are aligning perfectly for me. If there are any inconveniences, they get convenienced. Let's get to the story. I have a tight bond with my grandparents. They're very dear to my heart, so I visit them every Sunday in my small rural hometown. Last Sunday, the 15th, was no exception. Their birthdays were coming up, so we threw a family gathering to celebrate in advance. My grandma's birthday was yesterday, on the 16th, and my grandpa's is today. the 17th. I've always found it sweet that their birthdays are so close together. They got nothing on my grandparents. They're both born on the 21st.
Yeah.
What up? Sunday rolled around and we enjoyed the weather, visited the neighbors' freshly born chicks, devoured Granny's famous fruitcake, and shared updates on our lives. I specifically remember telling my grandma I would congratulate her on her actual birthday, as I am a superstitious and think it brings bad luck otherwise. Okay. I've never heard that, but
Yeah, I haven't heard that before.
go off, Queen. I gave them their gift, though, and drove home in the evening after a beautiful day well spent. Then today at the office, it hit me. It was already Tuesday. I had forgotten to call my grandma, oblivious as to how I could have been this stupid. I was antsy all morning, nervously rocking back and forth in my chair, ranking up all the excuses in my head as to why I hadn't been able to call her on time. When my lunch break finally rolled around, I gathered up all my confidence and decided I could salvage the situation by blaming the long work day yesterday on technically forgetting her birthday. Okay. I speed dialed their number, wished my grandpa a happy birthday on time, and then took a deep breath and asked if I could speak to grandma real quick. I immediately started blabbering about the overtime I've had to do, how tired I'd been, and how sorry I was that I'd forgotten to call her. When she suddenly interrupted me, giggling, telling me I had already called her and wished her a happy birthday yesterday, ending the phone call, promising I would call grandpa the next day. I did? I quickly brushed it off by adding onto my previous excuse of being tired. She jokingly told me that I was starting to get as forgetful as her, wished me a good day, and hung up. Immediately, my fingers raced to yesterday's call log, but there were no outgoing calls to her. The last time I'd called them was on Sunday, and when I let them know which time I was going to be at the function. I was gabberflasted. Yes, to say the least. I still am. Even in a sleepy haze, I would have remembered if I had called her. I had absolutely no clue what's going on, but whatever is happening in my reality, I'm sure as heck not mad about it. Thank you, Glitch in the Matrix, for not upsetting my grandma.
Without the call log part, I would say this is ADHD all the way, because you can definitely call somebody and wish them happy birthday and then call them the next day saying, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't call," but not remember, because it's like the blank spot in that day. You can't remember,
You forget, though, grandmas are sweetie pies.
So
most
she
of the time.
may have.
She lied to her granddaughter and said, "No, dear, you totally called me. It's totally fine. I love you. Stop being so forgetful." A clicky.
I could just see her high-fiving grandpa.
Is high fives, Gramps.
Bam! That's right. Make her feel better.
That's right. That's what grannies and grampies do.
Yeah. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is.
Like that one seemed a bit too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give that one to you. The no interdimensional communication here.
She didn't get an interdimensional phone call this time.
No.
They didn't the last time either, but that's fine.
Totally did.
Let's see. Simon 2112. I know now that I don't exist. Oh boy. I would like to share. Hi there. I would like to share my story that is both funny and terrifying. I've read many reports of alien encounters and ghosts and so on, but they all have one thing in common. They're all complicated enough to make room for a reasonable doubt. I might have been on it might have been a plane, a weather balloon, a simple coincidence, or some rare natural phenomenon. Not this time. I got 2 + 2 = 5, and there's no room for any doubt. And that is just the beginning of the terrifying part. Quick intro. I'm 28, man, living in Poland, completely healthy, no illnesses, working on marketing and living alone. I'm also a man of reason, atheist, and I choose logic over any superstition. Okay, great.
That totally means everything that you're going to say is true. All right.
Yep, you can tell. The story, last night around 11, I was getting ready for work the next day. I was packing for the gym that I visit right after work every other day. I had no alcohol. I wasn't tired. And what is most important, I was concentrated and calm. I packed all the necessities in my bag and went to the kitchen to get bananas. I had prepared for right after the workout. There were 4 bananas in one bunch. I had ripped 2 off and left 2 in the fridge. I packed 2 I've taken and spend more time watching YouTube videos. Okay. However, I got worried that the fruits will wither in my bag through the night, so I took them out and put them back in the fridge and wrote myself a note that I left on the table saying bananas to not forget them the next morning. Then I went to sleep. Right after I woke up and went through the bathroom routine, I went to the kitchen and I was remembering what I should do. I took the bananas out and immediately and unmistakably noticed that they were again in a bunch, naturally connected. I have never before been so sure that this was an impossible error. Um, I knew in my guts, and when I ripped them again, listening to the sound of them being torn, I knew that yesterday's act of doing it was erased. My mind was speeding to cross out all possibilities, and the last one was eliminated when I saw the piece of paper saying bananas on the table. It was not a dream. 2 of the fruits were in my bag for good 10 minutes, and now they were again a bunch, not glued, not taped, not placed next to each other, a holding bunch. I imagined the fridge. There were no more fruits in the whole I'm sorry, he examined the fridge. There were no more fruits in the whole apartment, as I mentioned. I live alone. No outside involvement was possible. I would easily woke up if someone entered the apartment. And now the most terrifying part begins immediately. And I mean immediately. After I was 100% positive that I encountered an error that had only one possible explanation, that I did not live in a real world, I began to feel that it is not important. I caught myself getting ready for work, feeling easy, and that was when a shiver crossed my spine.
Ooh.
Something, some unknown force, a program encoded in my bones, wanted me to forget it, to ignore it, and it is still so strong that I have trouble writing it. I have to force myself to endure what seems like a huge waste of time. Like I said, I am a man of reason, and I don't leave things unexplained. I don't. I can lose hours pondering why someone did something or why something happened, and I like it. I like to find answers, and I know that if I ever spot something mysterious, I would happily freak out. Okay? But this time there's this feeling, not reason, not a voice of mine, an outside half feeling, half thought that even thinking about it is tiring, and that the incident is so minute that I should not spend a second more on it. During the day, I found so easy to concentrate on work. I even forgot about it for most part of the day. However, legitimately what they wrote about it for most part of the day. However, um, when I was coming back from the gym, it hit me. I remembered that I have experienced similar glitches in the past, but I ignored them all so easily because of that exact feeling. And that feeling is even more convincing than the glitch itself, that we do not have any idea what we are or about the world we are in. Do not have any idea what we are or about the world we are in.
Okay.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
It took me 2 times to read that. I apologize. Let's see. Uh, it may be a computer, a dream. I don't know. All I know for sure is that this is not real. And even as I write it, I feel as if
It is
no
no
importance.
importance.
It is so not worth mentioning that I know the day after tomorrow I will forget. I will lose interest in it. I may even detest coming back to this story. It's stronger than me, but for now, the image of the glitch that appeared in such funny circumstances stays with me, like a face of murderer that slowly disappears into the oblivion. Let this story, written against all odds, be a memento for something that is soon to be gone. I don't know what else to write.
So either this person is trying very hard to be a screenwriter,
There's no
or
screenwriting.
huh?
That's not screenwriting, but go on.
I know, but they're coming up with a story. They're coming up with a complete story, and they're being very,
They're
very
writing their own novella. Yes,
right.
go on.
So it's either that or whoever came up with the prompt that had ChatGPT or whatever Gronk or anything to write this is a genius, because they came up with all of the ticks in there to make sure that it came up with a good, full, complete story with all these extra notes and stuff. There's no way this is real. This is bot.
It's not ChatGPT, it's not Grok, it's none of that. It happened 12 years ago.
It happened. Okay.
No, I'm not saying it happened. I'm saying that the story was written 12 years ago. Right? It smacks of fiction of the banal, right?
Right.
Like it does. Like, I'm with you, but it couldn't have possibly been ChatGPT because it didn't exist 12 years ago, is what I'm trying to say.
It was more of like, this was a assignment that was given to a college student that is going to school for writing to make this, and then he got credit for it because it was spectacular.
The other idea, though, is he ran into aliens the night before.
Okay.
And the Men in Black had to show up.
Okay.
And fixes it, did the flashy thing.
And
the one thing that doesn't make sense is that they replaced the bananas.
Yeah, and they didn't have to, but they thought they had to, so they replaced the bananas.
Right, because
bananas.
They saw the note. They go, oh, this guy needs bananas, so they put bananas in his fridge.
Well, Agent L needs to work on their, making sure that they, are surveying the scene better.
That's right. Yeah, we've only got a few. We're running a little long. We've only got a few left. Okay. Okay. Glitch in the Matrix 7 years ago. Where's my kid? I have 4 kids. I know I have 4 kids, but recently I just feel like there should be another one, but it's missing. When we go out, I head count and get flustered because I can't find the extra one. I have to consciously remind myself there are only 4, but my heart just doesn't believe it. Well, I just put it down as one of those weird feelings and push it aside. Then my parents sent money to my kids. They sent $500. I called them to ask why they put so much. They were confused and said that they told me they were sending $100 per kid. I reminded them that I only have 4 kids. They were silent for a moment and then just kind of laughed and said they must be getting old because they were thinking there was 5. Then tonight, my daughter walked into the lounge room. She looked around and said, I know we're all here, but our family feels small. My son agreed. I hadn't said anything to anyone about my feelings lately because they already think I'm an ancient and forgetful at 40. Thanks for reading. If you've made it this far, does anyone else ever have these feelings? No. I don't have these feelings. You have these feelings because your child was taken in by the Men in Black and everybody was flashy thinged.
Well, this is more of an alien abduction situation, I think, and their memories have been wiped, possibly by but not a Men in Black thing. It's more like an abduction thing.
Maybe the kid was like a wizard or something, and like in order for him to join the wizard community, they had to obliviate him or something.
Could be. I can tell you that having 6 kids and then having 3 a good majority of the time and the other 3 not as much of the time, but also having 6 at sometimes, that if you end up with an odd number, so like you have 6 but you only have 5 because one of them's at a birthday party, then you start double thinking like, shit, should there be another one? Is there another one that I'm missing or something? Where did that one go? And then you realize, oh, well, they're just at a birthday party. That does happen. But this this doesn't sound like they have multiples of different group problem. It's a complete deletion of a child.
Yeah, and that's weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one goes kind of along with it. DMK 804, my child doesn't exist. I just had the strangest experience today. I was in the kitchen getting dinner ready and was about to tell my daughter to get ready because her father and sister would be home shortly. I froze because I only have one child, but at that moment in time, my heart and soul knew and loved this non-existent one. At the time, I realized what was happening. I had deja vu of a girl running around the living room who wasn't my real daughter, but in that memory, she was. All of this happened in less than a second, but now I have this strange sense of loss. Okay, cool. So you're just getting flashes of your multiverse.
The multiverse babies.
Yeah. Like you're just it's like Doctor Strange, right? You dream and you're like doing weird shit. That's you in an alternate dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's true, my alternate dimension guys are really boring.
Yeah, right.
I don't have very many dreams, so it's like I don't remember nothing. Okay, I think that's going to wrap it up for today.
Those two stories, I can wrap it up with this. Those two stories remind me of a story that the wife told me she read while she was out earlier. And it was about this guy who came home. He's a single dude, has a house and everything, right? And he came home and was talking to his elderly female neighbor, and she was talking about how she saw his son out in the street playing, and he was so cute and all this stuff. Like he doesn't have a son, but he kind of played along with it because she may, just be misremembering stuff. So he was trying to be nice. He then goes inside his house to smell like burnt cheese. Come to find out, there's this little Russian kid making mac and cheese in his kitchen. And this whole thing unravels about how he was married to this chick he was never married to. And this kid is his. And he's divorced from the mom and all this stuff. But it was only like a day that happened. And then it just flipped. There's multiple people that remember the kid.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it sounded like a really weird story. I wish we had that one because I would like to read that one, but it wasn't in the list and it was too late for me to add it to the list. So, but that sounded like, man, that's super creepy.
It does sound really creepy.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is we do another Glitch in the Matrix episode later and do more of these because these get really intense, man. You're like, dude,
these are good. These are good, and I'm down for it. And we've got plenty of extras that are going to be put into this episode.
And if any of you guys have some glitches in the Matrix you want to talk to us about, check out down below. Use our email, fixyourlifepod@gmail.com. Like, comment, and follow. Subscribe.
Yes.
Blah, 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 all that nonsense.
You can also add that stuff to Reddit. Find our Reddit. There will be the stories that we've read from the past several episodes at this point. But you can post stories there. And if we see the stories there, we will most likely bring them on and read them on this podcast. No problem.
Absolutely. And you can like CC one of us if you want one of our takes, or if you want both of our takes, totally fine. And you know what? I might even let Ari answer an email or two.
That's if we ever find him.
If we ever find him again, he can answer one. Oh, well, all right, man. Hopefully we don't glitch out of here too badly, but
I think okay. I've been Will.
You've been fixed. Good night, everybody.
Don't glitch out. Goodbye.
Been hating my job. I need to quit. Where'd I go wrong? Is this really it? I need a pick me up. Can you fix me up today? I can't keep living this way.